in 254 in a yard extra niceness of reggae music,
extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice, we
have to do it twice.
Kwa nini wewe ulimtobolea mtoto siri mapema?
Wewe mfanyakazi utamleta lini?
Kazi ya kutafuta mfanyakazi, usiniachie mimi.
Mambo yangu hayaendi ninavyotaka.
Samahani. Naona tuna mgeni. Ni nani?
Naomi. Sio umekuwa ukinisumbua hapa kila wakati unataka mfanyakazi.
Harambee Stars are set to face Cameroon in October before hosting the return leg in Kampala in mid-October. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1 as both teams chase slots for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
From the very latest in Kenya's parliament to developments on the Social Health Authority, including hurdles. Welcome to Prime Edition. Good evening. My name is Mboya, top in this live broadcast.
I find that the special motion meets the requirements.
I have no grudge. I have no malice. I have no ill will. I have no personal vendetta against His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. I am just doing my duty as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya.
When the numbers look really bad, a notice of motion to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua tabled in Parliament, backed by close to 300 members of Parliament. The right to be heard. DP Gachagua to defend himself before accusers next Tuesday for 2 hours.
It is therefore our clarion call as members of Parliament from Murang'a County to request our colleagues for sobriety in handling this motion, because the interest of the nation is greater than the interest of the individuals.
Divided by motion, some MPs in Gachagua's Mount Kenya region prepare to defend the DP in the House.
Hata waliokuwa kwa NHIF tukiendelea kuhamisha, mnaenda tu hospitali na mtaonekana.
Plus, the depth of NHIF, the new health insurance scheme, Social Health Insurance Fund, officially rolled out across the country. Welcome to this powerful bulletin. Susan Thuku is in charge of our sign language interpretation, and you can also join us, join the conversation by following us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, our handle at KBC Channel 1. Let's open this coverage with this lead story tonight. Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will now have to battle 11 allegations as he tries to save his position based on an impeachment motion tabled Tuesday in the afternoon in the National Assembly. The 100-page motion by Kibwezi West Member of Parliament Mwengi Mutuse is supported by 291 members of the National Assembly and accuses Gachagua of gross violation of the Constitution, gross misconduct, and also violation of the Anti-Corruption as well as Economic Crimes Act, among other alleged ills. JJ Curia opens our coverage with that story that is on the lips of many across the nation.
Members, order.
Tuesday afternoon, and what many had thought was hearsay emerged as reality in the chambers of the National Assembly. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's tribulations had just kicked off. Speaker Moses Wetangula announcing that the motion to kick Gachagua out of office was presented to him on Friday.
I find that the special motion meets the requirements relating to form and threshold set out in the Articles 145(1) and 151(b) of the Constitution and Standing Order 64(1).
I have no grudge, I have no malice, I have no ill will, I have no personal vendetta against His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. I am just doing my duty as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya.
The 100-pages document tabled by Mutuse contains 11 grounds of impeachment against the country's second-in-command, ranging from gross violation of a constitution, gross misconduct, gross violation of a National Cohesion and Integration Act, and the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act.
The Process of Crime and Money Laundering Act is one of those laws pursuant to Section 2 of the Constitution of Kenya that we domesticated because of our international obligations about money laundering. And therefore, by proving the same, I will also be demonstrating before Kenyans that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua has committed international crimes.
And one by one, Mutuse read out the names of the 291 MPs who had appended their signatures to the impeachment motion, which included all the 6 elected MPs in Gachagua's native Nyeri County. Mbeere North MP Geoffrey Ruku raised concern over the impeachment threshold on grounds that there are 4 vacant positions left by Energy CS Opiyo Wandayi, Treasury CS John Mbadi, and yet to be conducted by-elections in Banissa and Magarini.
To pass this motion, shall we require 2/3 of 345 members or 349 members?
Other members raised concern over their security and that of members during the time of processing the motion, claiming history had some lessons.
Honorable Speaker, you must direct the Inspector General of Police to ensure that when this House is sitting within the precincts of Parliament and even outside and including committees of this House sitting, Honorable Speaker, members are secured.
What we are doing is not a small thing, Mr. Speaker. When Trump was being removed, was being impeached in the United States, Mr. Speaker, you know what he attempted to do?
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
Our team on the Prime Edition squad has also been training their eyes on the perpetrators of the Gachagua impeachment motion. They are relying on 11 grounds to send the Deputy President home. Now, in a well-crafted motion, colored with pictorials of assets allegedly owned by the Deputy President and his kin, the Kibwezi West legislators' 100-page impeachment motion accuses Gachagua of crimes ranging from abuse of office to corruption. Ben Chumba puts that story in perspective.
The move of the impeachment motion is banking on 11 grounds to have the Deputy President removed from the House. Gachagua is accused of making inflammatory statements that threaten to discriminate against certain communities, undermining the very fabric of Kenya's diverse society. The motion further alleges that Gachagua has repeatedly undermined President William Ruto and the cabinet, making unilateral public statements contrary to government policies. This has raised eyebrows about his commitment to collaborative governance. Adding to the gravity of the situation, Gachagua is alleged to have interfered with Nairobi's county governance, inciting citizens against lawful directives and usurping powers meant for devolved units. Such actions have led to accusations of reckless behavior and becoming of a deputy president. The list of accusations doesn't end there. Gachagua faces serious allegations related to corruption, with claims of amassing a 5.2 billion shillings property portfolio through dubious means incompatible with his non-legitimate income. In addition to these financial concerns, the Deputy President is also accused of bullying public officials and engaging in insubordination, further complicating his standing within the government. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
What's the feeling of this impeachment motion? Now, a section of MPs from Mount Kenya region allied to Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have watered down that 100-page impeachment motion tabled by the mover Kibwezi MP Mwengi Mutuse. The lawmakers, led by Gatanga, member of the National Assembly, Wakili Edward Muriu, are tonight vowing that they will oppose that motion seeking to kick out Gachagua from office. This comes as church leaders called on the 291 legislators who appended their signatures in support of the motion to rethink their position and also lower down the political temperatures in the country. Here's the report.
24 hours after Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua stated that he will not resign from his post.
Najua hii watu nafikiri wako very desperate ya kunipaka matope wakijaribu kunitoa kwa kazi. Lakini they will be shocked wakati ikifika. Wacha tungoje, kama impeachment tuliambiwa itakuja kesho, tunangojea. Mawakili wetu wako tayari. Wacha walete grounds, tusaangalia, tutajibu. Lakini unajua wengine wanajaribu, nimeona wengine wananisindikisha, sasa wabunge 300 wamesign, sasa wewe you are die cast, si ujiuzuru uende nyumbani. Sasa mimi nijiuzuru hii kazi mimi sikujipea.
Kibwezi Member of Parliament Mwengi Mutuse tabled an impeachment motion against the country's second in command.
The grounds themselves constitute about 42 pages, and with the rest of the material, we have about nearly 100 pages.
The motion infuriating legislators allied to Gachagua.
It is clear, whichever direction that motion will go, it will have serious social, political, and economic ramifications in the entire mountain region.
The Speaker can guide that we go to our people so that we get their nod, since the Deputy President has been elected by the people of this republic. And going against their wish shows some selfish interest.
The legislators led by Gatanga Member of Parliament Wakili Edward Muriu have urged MPs to vote against the motion, claiming it is a political witch hunt.
But you can see all this has been centered to the members of Parliament who has been influenced in one way or another. Others were signing other duress that if they don't sign, not a single time, the projects that are in their constituencies will be done.
It is not too late to do the right thing. And in the event our advice and counsel is ignored, as members of Murang'a County, we shall vote no to the said motion.
The MPs argue that the public ought to be involved in the process that will undoubtedly have an impact on Gachagua's political career. Meanwhile, a section of church leaders in Nairobi County have called for a ceasefire between Gachagua and the 219 MPs who have appended their signature on the impeachment motion.
And so we need to stop politics of attacking one another left and right. That will not save this nation. So the time we have now is development, address peace, peace.
Peace from number one, peace to the end, A to Z, in this nation of ours.
Na wasihi hawa wawili wasikizane, na kama wanaona vigumu, mimi waniite, mimi ni national figure.
Sasa kama kuna jambo yoyote imefanyika kwa mdogo wa rais, wangeketi chini waongee, badala kupeleka imambo pale bunge ili bunge imfukuze kazi.
The motion has also elicited mixed reactions from the public.
What I would tell my friend Gachagua, with a lot of humility and respect, I would ask him just to resign quietly, plan his game again, and not force all these kind of hulabaloo we are going to hear.
The motion, which surpassed the required 170 legislators to back it, must garner the support of 233 MPs for it to be transmitted to the Senate. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
And here's the thing now. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will have an opportunity to defend himself against allegations raised in that impeachment motion that has been tabled in the National Assembly. Speaker Moses Wetangula says that it would be a travesty of justice if Gachagua is not given an audience, and Kenyans also barred from having input in the historic process. To that end, Parliament has set Friday, the 4th of October, that's 3 days from today, as the date when Kenyans will have their say on the proposed impeachment before the lawmakers consider the motion. Kamche Meza with more.
Allow me, I can have a sip of my water.
Go ahead.
With the stage now set for the consideration of the motion seeking the removal from office of the country's second-in-command, MPs will begin debate on the impeachment motion next week during an afternoon sitting.
The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya is entitled to appear before the House in person through a legal representative or both during consideration of the motion, noting that the special motion shall be considered on 8th October 2024. I have directed that the Deputy President be notified of his right to appear on the said date and the allocation of time from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., 2 hours.
In preparation for the day, sittings from Wednesday afternoon will be suspended for members to be briefed with regards to public engagement on their views with regards to the impeachment motion.
The House Business Committee has approved a program of public participation across the country to be coordinated from the 47 counties on 4th October 2024. That's Friday this week.
233 members, which is 2/3 of the 349 MPs, shall remain the threshold during voting, addressing earlier concerns regarding the absence of 4 members.
Article 124.3 of the Constitution provides that the proceedings of a House of Parliament are not invalid merely on account of a vacancy in its membership. That settles the issue.
Considering that the motion must be dispensed of on the same particular day, there is a reasonable expectation that after being heard, whoever is hearing you is given adequate time to review what you have said and incorporate the same in the decision.
This is the House where charges are framed. The trial chamber is the Senate. This chamber could easily vote on the motion after the mover and the seconder if there's nobody debating it.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nilikuwa na swali, mbona aje saa 11 mpaka saa 2? Naona muda utakuwa umekwenda sana na tutakuwa na wasiwasi. Wajua Mheshimiwa Spika, giza ina siri zake. Kwa hiyo sijui mbona asije mapema Mheshimiwa Spika, tulimalize kwa mwangaza. Asante sana.
Having given him 5 to 7 to speak, the House should be informed that should there be interest to continue with the debate thereafter, we are going to move a procedural motion for the House to sit on Tuesday 8th from 9 a.m. to midnight. So you'll still have time to deal with any issue. Mama Zamzam, mimi huwa nasikia ati shetani anapenda usiku, lakini huyo shetani haishi hapa bungeni.
Amid concerns of safety as raised by members, Speaker Wetangula clarified there are arrangements to provide additional security to the members. Kamche Meza for Prime Edition.
What do you care about? The stories that we are covering for you tonight. Speak to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Now listen to this. Makueni Senator Daniel Manzo has filed a motion to censure President William Ruto, citing gross violations of the Constitution and the mismanagement of public affairs. The motion presented to the Senate has no serious implications such as the impeachment, but it seeks to express dissatisfaction over how the head of state has run the country. Gladys Mungai reports.
The Senate is awaiting approval of Speaker Amason Kingi to debate a censure motion against President William Ruto, filed by Makueni Senator Dan Maanzo. In the motion, Maanzo alleges multiple constitutional breaches and wants the senators, guided by Standing Orders 101, subsection 1, to express displeasure and disappointment with the conduct of the president and censure him.
But the attempt to impeach the deputy president has created a lot of commotion in the country. And similarly, a lot of Kenyans have expressed that if you are going to impeach the deputy president, then impeach the president too.
According to the legislator, the marginalization of Kenyans, the lack of adequate public participation in decisions concerning social health insurance fund, the affordable housing scheme, and the new university funding model have led to widespread discontent among Kenyans and have demeaned the office of the president.
As an arbiter, as a referee, you cannot determine which team is winning even before the game begins. And therefore, that also calls for action so that we all act within the.
If passed, this censure motion represents a formal rebuke of President Ruto by the Senate. While it does not directly lead to an impeachment, the censure motion by Manzo adds to the pressure on Kenya Kwanza administration, which is already facing an impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Well, that story brings us to our first break. That's the camera. There you are. And we're taking a short break, but when we come back, we've got a lot more stories to look at, including the day's business and also at the tail end of the broadcast. We will be getting sporty. Stay with us.
Mapato ya jasho lako, faida ya nguvu zako, na juhudi za kila siku kuboresha maisha yako. KDIC ndio ngao ya jasho lako. KDIC linzi wa akiba yako. Relax, akiba yako iko salama.
KDIC, safer, stronger together.
Avieta imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
Friday night again. Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the positive warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
To Prime Edition. The Social Health Authority was officially launched Tuesday, ending the National Health Insurance Fund. The rollout of the new health insurance took place simultaneously across all regions countrywide amid confusion at various hospitals, with those not registered unable to access services. Others who have already registered also cited challenges accessing services under SHIF. In Nairobi County, the NHIF building was rebranded to Social Health Authority. Nancy Okware was there and filed this report.
At the stroke of midnight, the curtains fell on the National Health Insurance Fund, which has been in operation since 1966. NHIF paves way for the Social Health Authority. The famous NHIF building in Nairobi was rebranded to SHA. The official rollout took place simultaneously across the country, with Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa, who was in Kakamega County, expressing concern over low registration.
Hata waliokuwa kwa NHIF tukiendelea kuhamisha, mnaenda tu hospitali na mtaonekana.
Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni led the rollout exercise in Kisumu.
No money is going to be lost. If you had overpaid in NHIF, that money is going to be rolled out into Social Health Authority.
The rollout in Nairobi County took place at Mama Lucy Hospital, with county health promoters challenged to ensure more Kenyans register in order to enjoy the benefits under the new scheme.
Lakini sembuse hujalipa na hujaregister. Ukiwa na emergency, unaenda hospitali, unapata huduma kwa hiyo masaa 24 bure.
However, as the rollout was taking place countrywide, a spot check by KBC at various hospitals revealed that patients who had not registered were unable to access services.
Lakini tulikuwa na kadi NHIF, tukaenda tukaambiwa haifanyi, tutumie cash. Kwa hivyo tumetumia cash. Tulikuja tu tukapata mambo ilibadilika.
Despite having registered, other patients were told the system was not operational.
Nilikuwa nimekuja Kenyatta kutibiwa, but nimeambiwa kuhusu NHIF kwanza wapata mitambo ya saa haijaanza kufanya kazi mpaka ifanya.
Ile hospitali yangu nimechagua, nikaenda hapo kuchagua nipate matibabu, lakini niliambiwa wewe huwezi kupata matibabu leo, itabidi ulipe cash.
Kama kuwa system hazifanyi kazi, wajaribu kuchukua manual ndio waweze kuupdate wakati systems zinawaka.
At Mama Lucy Hospital, patients turned away from other facilities flocked to the hospital seeking services. Those not registered were referred to the Social Health Authority desk at the facility to be assisted to register.
Tuseme for example leo nipatwe na ugonjwa wenye unahitaji pesa mingi na nimetoa ya hii mwezi peke yake. Hiyo kadi itanisaidia ama itasema kadi ni mpya kwanza?
It is still a 50-50 thing. Hatuko sure kile inafanya ama itafanya. Tunangoja wale wataanza kutumia watatuambia ndio kiasi register.
Wa improve sasa waweke kwa kila mtu anaweza tibiwa mahali popote.
The curtains have fallen on the National Health Insurance Fund, ushering in the Social Health Authority. However, on the first day of the rollout, Kenyans are calling for enhanced civic education. Nancy Okware, reporting from the Social Health Authority offices, Nairobi.
Now, what do Kenyans think? A section of Kenyans want the Ministry of Health to assure the country that no one will be locked out of the Social Health Insurance Fund. Reacting to Tuesday's rollout, some of those suffering from critical illnesses lamented being unable to access some of those services. Here's that report by Kasichana.
Peter Wambua, a resident of Makueni County, says he has been turned away from the hospital where he had gone to have his blood samples taken. Wambua had hoped to benefit from the rollout of the Social Health Insurance Fund in his fight against cancer.
Hiyo kadi ya NHIF na ni hiyo mandawa ya saratani. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nakuja nipewe. Alafu nikapata kuko na shida hiyo ya kufungwa kwa NHIF. Nitoe pesa ya kutolewa damu ndio nianze hiyo matibabu 1,500. Naona nirudi nyumbani niende nikatafute pesa sababu sina njia nyingine ya kufanya.
In Migori County, many patients were forced to part with cash after they unsuccessfully tried to register for SHIF.
Now the patients are coming, some of them were capitated here last quarter. Now there is no capitation. They've not been registered to SHA. So it gives us a lot of challenge that we are just treating them through cash.
Makueni Senator Dan Manzo said the Ministry of Health overlooked some serious teething problems in the rollout. In Baringo, Busia and Kakamega counties, some residents say the registration process has been marred by numerous technical challenges.
Sasa serikali kama wangejitahidi kuona ya kwamba wamehamasisha watu ya kutosha ili hata kama mtu anataka kupinga wananchi watakuwa na ufahamu pakubwa sana.
Kwa mambo ya SHA hiyo ya serikali, sisi tunataka kujua zile savings zetu za NHIF ni zile ama ni jina tu peke yake. Nyinyi mnaangalia jina peke yake ama savings pia ni zile. Sisi tunataka savings zetu ziendelee, kama ni matibabu ikuwe ni jina peke yake mmebadilisha.
Hii vitu ya SHA ambayo sijui iliisha jana, sijui imeanza leo. Sisi wengine tujaisikia hata SHA inamaanisha nini hapa mashinani.
Watu watajiregister vipi na system imefeli? Ukienda hospitali saa hii kama ukiangalia kutoka jana hapa Huduma Center kwetu kulikuwa kumefurika hivi. Alafu unaambiwa system imefeli. Na unaambiwa leo ndio deadline. Sasa sielewi mimi.
The residents urged the Ministry of Health to expeditiously address all the issues raised and assure the country that no one will be denied health services. Kasi Chanamasha, Prime Edition.
Let's now look at an instructive story. Exit the National Health Insurance Fund, commonly known as NHIF, enter the Social Health Authority, or if you like, SHA. That will manage 3 funds, including the Social Health Insurance Fund, to enable Kenyans access affordable health care. So what are the services that you should expect from this new health scheme? Here is that report.
Among the services that Kenyans will access under the Social Health Authority are in- and outpatient services, maternity services, renal care treatment, hematology and oncology services, mental wellness services, surgical services, chronic illness and palliative services, including medical imaging and investigations. The Social Health Insurance Authority will be managing 3 funds. The Primary Healthcare Fund. Under this fund, services will be accessed in level 1 to 3 health facilities, which include dispensaries and health centers. Among the services are outpatient services like consultation, diagnosis and treatment, management of non-communicable diseases, neglected tropical diseases, STIs, and HIV/AIDS. Others are maternity and newborn services, which include antenatal and delivery services, aftercare for mother and newborn, postnatal family planning, and immunization, among others. The other fund is the Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF. It also includes renal care package, which are consultation and specialist review, nursing care and dialysis services, lab services, and medication. Mental wellness package includes screening, management and referrals for mental disorders, rehabilitation for substance-related disorders. Oncology services include administration of chemo and radiotherapy, routine and specialized lab services, transfusions, management of pre-cancer conditions. Last but not least is the Emergency Chronic and Critical Illness Fund. These include ambulance evacuation services, evacuation from point of incident to the nearest health facility, transfer of patients requiring emergency and further care, critical care admissions in ICU and high dependency units, HDU.
Let's now move into another space. Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has put on notice water and sewerage companies operating within Nairobi County for polluting the Nairobi River. Appearing before the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee, Duale also warned that the government may be forced to shut down 145 factories and slaughterhouses disposing waste into the Nairobi River. Duale also read the Riot Act to corrupt officers at the National Environment Management Authority to ship up or ship out.
Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale took issue with the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company and Athi River Water and Sewerage Company for being among top polluters of Nairobi River. According to Duale, the sewerage companies failed to comply with the waste management regulations.
Biggest polluters to Nairobi River are 3 people, and the President of the Republic of Kenya is aware, and he has given me direction to enforce the law. Number 1 is sewer, Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company, Athi River and Sewerage Company.
Duale revealed another 145 factories and slaughterhouses were polluting the river, but impunity at the National Environment Management Authority had delayed action. To deal with corruption at NEMA, the CS said the NEMA official in charge of Nairobi region has been transferred.
Last night, I have directed NEMA to transfer the Nairobi County NEMA director. And she has left. NEMA will either shape out or shape out, as long as I am the minister. If I leave tomorrow, they are lucky, and the DG is doing his best. He didn't have the political will, now he has the political will.
2 weeks ago, President William Ruto relaunched the Nairobi River Rehabilitation Program, which now includes the rehabilitation of the river catchment basin and the construction of affordable housing for families living along the river bank. Meanwhile, the Youth Affairs and Creative Economy Principal Secretary Ismail Maalim has decried inadequate funding that has crippled the operationalization of youth empowerment centers established over a decade ago.
And the plan was to have one aspect, to have fully fledged studios, fully fledged film stage, fully fledged facilities for youth in creative development, for them to come and do their practices.
He spoke when he appeared before the National Assembly Sports and Culture Committee. Gishoke Washira, Prime Edition.
Pata the master flare kwenye star 570 hash option ya 4 na ushindi wako tunautangaza the 6th of October. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Principal Secretary for Broadcasting and Telecommunication, Professor Edward Kisiangani, has challenged head of departments in the Ministry of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy to observe the highest standards of ethics, professionalism and integrity for excellent service delivery. Kisiangani reiterated that the government is committed to ensuring that the Public Servants Act is followed to the letter. The PS was speaking during the signing of performance contracts with heads of departments at the ministry's headquarters in the capital city of Nairobi, Kenya.
This is why this exercise is very critical. Improve service. We must fight corruption. We must support the president to make sure that the president achieves his objective as a ministry that is leading the way. When the president is pushing everybody to migrate to the digital platforms, this is the ministry that is doing that. And so, to achieve that objective, if we fail, we shall have failed the head of state, we shall have failed the country. So we have a big, big duty to make sure that anything we do within our performance is something that improves the performance, overall performance of government. Everybody deserves service. Everybody deserves, if you like milk, everybody also likes milk.
Thank you, sir. I will overachieve.
Welcome to the business segment. I'm holding down the fort for the business news anchor. Stakeholders in the plastics industry, are challenged to innovate and create sustainable solutions to lead the way in responsible solid waste management. Cooperatives and MSMEs Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya called for private-public partnerships for reasonable, responsible waste management. Yusuf Farah reports.
Estimated 92% of Kenya's plastic is mismanaged and only 7% of it is recycled, resulting in 37 kilotons of plastic waste leaking into the environment and ocean each year. The 9th edition of the Compact Complete Plastic Exhibition saw exhibitors from across the continent and beyond showcase their innovations. Cooperative and MSMEs Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Oparanya acknowledged the sector's contribution to employment, particularly for the youth, with an estimated 40,000 direct and 200,000 indirect jobs. To reduce plastic pollution in Kenya, two of the country's biggest waste management priorities are to increase plastic collection and waste management infrastructure.
Recycling and waste management has over 50,000 MSMEs informally involved in waste collection sorting, aggregation, and recycling.
It is also the responsibility of the industry to comply with the legislation and even go beyond by embracing extended producers' responsibility voluntarily.
With a GDP contribution of around 1.2%, formalization and collaboration within this sector has the potential to increase its contribution to the economy.
The ministry is focused on capacity building programs to enable MSMEs and cooperatives to participate in the green transition, enhancing their sustainability while contributing to environmental conservation.
There are plastic components that take 1,500 years to disintegrate. So if we continue loading the land with that, then sooner or later there will be no land left for us even to grow grass.
The government is further committing to support this sector through favorable policies, tax incentives and partnerships. Yusufar reporting for Prime Edition.
The United Kingdom investors are asking the government for a predictable tax regime to create a conducive treatment environment. British Deputy High Commissioner to Kenya, Leigh Stubblefield, says that there is need to streamline the tax regime in the country to improve investor confidence, the way the sound has improved.
United Kingdom's foreign direct investment in Africa is valued at close to 13 trillion shillings, representing 2.5% of the nation's total global FDI. Kenya is planning to position itself as UK's key investment destination through increased trade agreements and incentives.
What we are trying to do as a country, we are trying to, how do we position Kenya as an entry and gateway of this FDI from foreigners and especially from UK.
British company trying to settle here in Kenya, at least now there is one-stop shop, which we believe if we continue building that one-stop shop is going to attract and woo more investors.
However, a section of British investors are calling for the government to rationalize the tax regime to make it more predictable.
Creating a more predictable and well-understood revenue process, a taxation system for Kenya can really help businesses understand better what they face.
Over 140 UK businesses, mainly in the agriculture and pharmaceuticals, have shown interest in setting up subsidiaries in the country.
Anticipating to have like 110 companies between now and next year.
Investors have called for more trade agreements to show up trade between the two countries that saw Kenya shipping goods worth 55 billion shillings to the UK last year, while importing goods valued at 41 billion shillings.
We are now focusing on special economic zones which are service sector focus.
Kenya is planning to increase foreign direct investments to 387 billion shillings in the next 1 year, from the current 193 billion shillings. Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Private players in the agriculture sector want the government to lease 900,000 acres of idle land to private investors for food production. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Andrew Karanja says that the government will leverage on public-private partnership to capitalize the agriculture sector, adding the discussions on land leasing as well as other key policies that will guide the agriculture sector will kick off soon.
It's asking the government to consider allocating private investment 900,000 acres of idle land for food production. Agriculture Sector Network urging the government to consider 10 years land leasing plan for prospective investor to allow invest and recover their investment.
As you know, the bill is debated in Parliament. There's 900,000 acres that now they're willing to lease out to private sector, and we're very happy that government has decided to lease out this land to private sector for long-term leasing by us. The biggest problem private sector finds is that there isn't enough land for us to cultivate. We've got big investors from India, from other countries, Middle East, who want to come and invest in Kenya, but there aren't any more large tracts of land privately held.
The government say it will consider having talks with the private sector on a number of key interventions in the agriculture sector to make it more investor-friendly.
Government owns, holds about 1.5 million acres, and we're encouraging government, at least half of that, or 900,000 acres of that, lease it to private companies, lease it to big institutions. Don't sell it to us, lease it to us for 10 years. We will invest and we will grow food for this country.
Investors want the taxes and licensing in the agriculture sector harmonized to reduce the cost of production and give Kenya produce a price competitive edge.
I want to assure you that the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, under my stewardship, will be open to collaborate with all stakeholders in the sector, and we will endeavor to implement the action plans and recommendations coming from this 4th Agricultural Summit. In particular, I want to say that I have noted the pillars of sustainable agriculture, which has been well presented by our captain of industry, Vimal.
Kenya is set to receive 26 billion shilling credit facility from India to mechanize agriculture and increase production. Felix Q for Prime Edition.
Kenyan students will get an opportunity to study and conduct research to boost the country's capacity in innovation once the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology in Konza Technopolis is complete. The established model after South Korea's KAIST institution will position Kenya as a growing hub for technological innovation.
Kenya's youthful and tech-savvy population and its commitment to green energy has steadily been attracting foreign investors seeking to tap into a dynamic economy. Among key collaborations include a flagship project in collaboration with Korea to establish the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is currently under construction in Konza Technopolis, targeting to elevate Kenya's capacity to move up the global technology value chain.
Technopolis, which is now approaching completion, and to start operations next year. This will enable us to go into what we call tech economy or knowledge-based economy, and will be a tool that will enable our SMEs, middle-level companies, can transition to high-tech companies and create possibilities for Kenya to have companies like Samsung, like LG, that we see today leading global tech and electronic industry.
The government has also secured 31 billion shillings in funding from the Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency for establishment of a digital media city targeting to provide a platform for youthful local content creators to monetize their talents.
So we are expecting within 2 years there, we'll be able to have this project to take up, unlocking huge opportunities for our young people in the digital media space, for creating animations, creating games, software development, and many other related things in the media space.
What we're trying to do now is to pitch to Korean investors to set up in those special economic zones. So there they will get affordable land, industrial land, supported by, of course, the quality infrastructure which the government has built, but most importantly, incentivized through the fiscal incentives that they are going to be made more competitive.
We have had a lot of programs and a lot of support, capacity building programs, projects in transport, agriculture, water, and many more in the pipeline. So I can say it has been a very good relationship of continued support.
The government believes this will make the country a fertile ground for tech startups and small, medium-sized enterprises. Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
Harambee Stars are set to face Cameroon in October before hosting the return leg in Kampala in mid-October. Catch the matches live on KBC Channel 1 as both teams chase slots for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations live on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Great that you're still with us on Prime Edition. It is time for the sports with me, Bernard Okumu. Let's begin with Kabaddi, where the national Kabaddi team bagged bronze at the Men's Beach World Cup in Iran after they lost to the host in the semi-finals. In a statement, the Kenya Kabaddi Union said the achievement is a huge milestone to the development of the sport in the country. Now, Kenya kicked off their campaign with a 6-14 win over Palestine in Pool B before losing 45-32 to Pakistan in their next fixture. Following subsequent wins wins over Lebanon and Germany, Kenya advanced to the semi-finals after finishing second in their pool. However, the Kenyan team lost 30-49 to the hosts in the semis to bag bronze. Now the team's departure to the Beach World Cup was marred by a standoff between the Minister of Sports officials and Kenya Kabaddi Union officials before they eventually reached an agreement that enabled the team to travel to Iran for the championship. And to judo now, where Ulinzi Judo Club are the overall winners of the 4th Senior National Team Selection Championships held at Kasarani. Ulinzi dominated the Senior Championship to win 6 out of 14 categories, as Prison's Judo Club came in second, followed by Kajiado Stars Judo Club. In the Cadet National Team Selections, Kajiado Stars took the overall title, followed by Kenyatta University Club and Kajiado North. Malindi Judo Club won the Junior Selections as Green Garden took the second spot, followed by Kajiado Stars, who tied with Ravine Judo Club. The National Judo Selection trials continue this month. Elsewhere, Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, SJAC FC, today beat former Kenya Football Internationals 4-2 in the finals of a 4-day football tournament set to mark the International Day of Older Persons. Now, the tournament, which was organized by Age Watch Africa Foundation at the Dandora Stadium, saw Noah Abich put the Legends ahead after 14 seconds before Eric Ochieng leveled for SJAC. The Legends took the lead again in the 15th minute through Alfred Chege, but Junior Nyawera equalized 3 minutes later for the Sports Journalist team before Sam Ayo and Kevin Oraro put the score sheet beyond doubt in the remaining half. SJAC FC beat Dandora Legends 3-1 en route to the finals as the former Kenya Internationals beat Obama All-Stars 5-2. The founder and CEO of Age Watch Africa, Richard Winde, say they were out to ensure older persons who are not discriminated, as they still played a big role in the society, as evidenced by the sports legends who have inspired generations with their contributions.
Well, I just want to thank the group that has brought up this venture, Age Watch. It is a good adventure, and especially as we are going for the Shujaa Day, it is giving us memories of our past and our future.
I can say it's good because I see older people coming out of their houses and coming to enjoy themselves. Yeah, which is very, very good. It keeps us busy because when you're at home, you're idle doing nothing. Your mind gets lost. But when you are here, you interact with our fellow colleagues, and then life goes on very, very well.
We are here to celebrate what the UN calls the International Day of Older Persons. This day is an important day for the aging population because we remember them in our communities, in our societies, for the contribution they have made.
And still on football now, where the Football Kenya Federation Marsabit branch upcoming elections hung in the balance after stakeholders cited anomalies in the delegates selection. Marsabit Football Teams Association Secretary Mohamed Hussein has faulted the recently published football clubs on the FKF website for lacking diverse representations and stakeholders' involvement in the selection process. Now Hussein has accused FKF Marsabit branch chairman Mohamed Nane for locking out over 50 football clubs across the county, and including only 10 clubs from Moyale in the list submitted to the national body. Football Kenya Federation's Electoral Board on Monday published the register of clubs eligible to vote at the national and county levels on their website.
Mpaka saa hii kiwanja status yenye hii kiwanja iko ndani ni hii venye mnaona. This has become a ghost project. Juzi wakati waziri alikuwa Babu na Mwamba alikuja paka hapa akatembelea, akatuahidi atafufua na hii kiwanja iishe in the next 6 months. Paka saa hii ule watu wanaletwa, ile nyasi imepandwa juzi, saa hii imekauka.
6,000 or 15 clubs kulipa 6,000 Kenyan shillings na kukosa kupata zile vitu zenye tulikuwa tunahitaji. First tunataka accountability. Kama hizo vitu hakuna, inamaanisha that's a fraud.
And that's it from the sports desk this lovely evening. I take you back to Mboya to bring the curtains down on today's edition of Prime News. I'm Bernardo Kumo. Have a lovely evening.
Many thanks, Bernardo Kumo. And I want to thank our sign language interpreter, Susan Thuku, for handling that docket extremely well, as well as the Prime edition in the back. And thank you all for watching. My name is Mboya. Good night. From Nairobi, Kenya. Bye-bye.
Imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
Boy, our leading businessman is leading from behind. The mighty Kinyanjui.
Hii si haki. Kusema kweli nilipaswa kwa nimemaliza masomo siku ya leo.
Na sio malize by the way, nani amekukataza? Na unasinya by the way.
I, Theophilus Atito, from Kisumu City, the land of the great people, I'm vying for the topmost position of this institution.
Atito, you can make me your first lady.
Mr. Man, what is funny?
Nothing, I just wanted to know how it feels to have a trust.
Estaré contigo cuando tú lo quieras, en el crudo invierno o en la primavera, cuando necesites volar a otro mundo, en un beso alado, sediento y profundo.
Wildlands. I didn't think I would see you here.
Behind you is Alvaran, getting ready to become a client. But then, be careful. He's not known to be very honest.
Nothing is new to me, Olga. If he wants, I can also